On the season, and he hopes to win tonight. It would be career win number 20 for Francisco Liriano. Outside ball one. Scudero done a great job of the leadoff spot for the Jays, hitting just under 300. He's drawn a bunch of walks. Twins have held him in check. Just one two-run single. There's a deep fly down the left field line, chased by Delman Young. It's a foul ball, and it's 1-1.
Liriano, 25 years old, of course, with that good fastball, hard slider, and a changeup. This is his 5th season with the Twins.
Last start against the White Sox, sailing into the 5th inning, then all sorts of trouble in the 5th. Sails outside, 2-1.
That control problems. He ended up walking 4 in that ball game. Walked 2 runs across the plate with bases loaded.
3-1. Didn't walk anybody in his first start of the year, but gave up a pair of 2-run home runs.
I know, talking to Mike Redmond and also Liriano about that outing, and it was cold that afternoon. It was a Saturday, and he just said he had a tough time really gripping the baseball.
90-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner to fill the count. Aaron Hill waiting on deck.
And over his career, he's had pretty good control. He'll walk maybe 2-3 batters per 9 innings in his career.
That's to the right field corner, and Scudero has a hit, and it's an extra base hit. Kadire retrieves it, a double to start the ball game for Marco Scudero.
Now, we talked about the home runs in the open, the 17 home runs they've hit so far this year. The Toronto Blue Jays, 7 so far in this series. Also a lot of doubles. 26 doubles now on the year, and this is their 11th game. Scudero picking up a double, his 2nd of the year.
And now Aaron Hill. The Twins have had a tough time getting him out in this series. Fly ball right field, carrying deep. Kadire back to the wall, makes a leaping catch. Scudero tags and goes to third, and the ball dribbled into center field, and now Scudero's going to try to score, and he will. Casilla didn't field the throw, and it trickled off his glove, and the Blue Jays get the first run of the game.
Well, what a great catch by Michael Kadire. Just kept drifting back and back and back. And that ball must have went a little bit further than he anticipated. He's going back. He leaps at the last second into the baggie. Gets up, hits Casilla. It's a low throw, but the ball just gets away from Casilla. By the time Harris could get it, Scudero, who was tagging up from second base once Kadire fell right there, ends up scoring.
That'll be an error on somebody to allow Scudero to come in from third. I'm guessing Casilla. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Jays. Rios fouls the first pitch away. And Morales will come out and talk to Liriano. An error is charged to Casilla.
Well, I mean, Hill doing the right thing. He's thinking to hit the ball the other way. Man on second, nobody out. Kadire making a great catch. You heard him bang into that baggie. And then the ball slipping away from Casilla. Ron Coomer, I know, as a trailer or an infielder, you have to go out there and you have to kind of play the ball, catch it in your chest, and he kind of played that off to the side a little bit.
Well, he did, and what happened, Bert, is when Mike's throwing the ball, Kadire, he's throwing the ball 150, 200 feet. The thing Alexi's got to do is move his feet. Either move to the ball and catch it, like you said, chest high, or move back and take it on the big hop, because you don't have Brendan Harris behind you because he's on second base. So if you move your feet one way or the other, either you catch it in the air or you take it on the big hop. He just stood there looking to pick it, and that's the mistake that was made. For young players, you have to move your feet either to the ball or take it on the big hop if you're the cutoff guy.
Harris, or Busher rather, catches it on a line for out number 2.
Well, heck, we might have our instructional already.
Northwood Ford defense has Young, Span, and Kadire in the outfield. Gomez watching this game from the bench. Busher, Harris, Casilla, and Morneau around the infield. Morales gets the start behind the plate, catching Liriano. A run in, 2 out, and here's Vernon Wells.
Haven't really seen Liriano go inside like Perkins did the other night. Everything has pretty much been away on that 3-2 pitch to Scudero. It was outer half of the plate. Now there's a fastball away. Here on Tuesday night, Vernon Wells' first at bat leading off the top of the second. I thought Perkins kind of set the tone when he really brushed him back and made Wells almost leave that right-handed batter's box. But a good sinking fastball right there, and Liriano gets ahead 0-2. There's a slider.
And Wells gone on 3 pitches. Morales will flip to first to end the inning. An unearned run for the Jays and a 1-0 lead for Roy Halladay. Man will get his first look at Roy Halladay. Alexi Casilla hitting second, then Justin Morneau having a good series against the Jays. Jason Kubel, Michael Kadire, Brian Busher, Delman Young, Jose Morales, and Brendan Harris.
Well, like Francisco Liriano, Roy Halladay making his 3rd start of the year. He's one of the best starters in the game of baseball. He has averaged 7.45 innings per start over the last 7 years, and he's never lost to the Twins. 7-0 with a 2.92 ERA.
Span stands in and takes a fastball, maybe the cutter, over the inside corner for a strike.
Now, Halladay throws a lot of cutters. Curveball, 2-seam fastball. He'll run inside and try to work it back over the plate.
Squirted to Roland. Span retired, 1 down. Northland 4 defense for the Toronto Blue Jays, and a good one at that. Bautista in left, Vernon Wells in center, Rios in right, Scudero and Hill up the middle, Roland and Millar in the corners, and Barajas back behind the plate catching Halladay.
Oh, I mentioned Halladay, 7-0 lifetime against the Twins in 11 ball games, 3-0 here at the Metrodome with 1 save, his only major league save, and that came back on a day after my birthday and back in 1999.
Casilla standing in, walking up the box and taking a strike. Throughout this series, the Blue Jays have pinched the corners. Now in this at bat, they've got Millar playing a deeper first base, and Casilla at least showing a bunt on the first offering. That is, again, squirted. That was this one foul.
That's what you want to do right there. Ron Coomer, I mean, with that 3rd baseman in, Roland is in. I mean, that's what you'd want to do, slap against, you know, if you can get it by him. But how do you face a guy like this that's so good?
Well, Roy Halladay, like you said in the open, he's one of the best right-handed starters we have in the game, as you see right here with strike 3 with a little off-speed pitch. He pounds you in with the cutter if you're left-handed, Bert, and the fastball. Then he can throw the two-seamer at you and get it going back over the plate. And he's also got a good slider, a good changeup. So to me, when you're facing a guy like this, pick a side of the plate, and early in the count, pick hard or soft. If you're going to look hard and look away, be prepared for it, even if it's off the plate a little bit. If you're looking out there, you can get to that ball. I think against the lefties, though, he likes coming in like he's going to do right here against Justin.
And he came in right there with that little cutter, and that's a pitch that he's really come up with over the last couple years. It's almost like a slider, but it's almost like Mariano Rivera's cutter. Then he'll work away with that two-seamer. You saw him strike out Casilla on a very good curveball, good tight rotation on that curveball.
Well, I think what you establish is what Perkins did the other night. You establish in hard. Base hit by Justin.
A 2-out single for Morneau, and that'll get Kubel to the plate. Morneau now 2 for 10 against Halladay.
To me, when you look at this, that's Justin picking the side of the plate. Now he's thrown in, one pitch away, and he looked in and he got the head of the bat out there. If Halladay establishes inside, I really feel like with Perk and any pitcher, then later in the ball game, that's how you get deep in the game, because now the whole outer part of the plate is yours. Hopefully, Kubel and Justin will be able to do damage on the inside part.
And Halladay gets ahead of another hitter, 0-1.
Oh, he's a strike machine right now. 9 pitches, 8 have been strikes. Halladay, 31 years old. Of course, the American League Cy Young Award winner back in 2003. Second to Cliff Lee last year in the voting.
Tapped up the line, and Millar right near the bag makes the catch. Steps on the bag to end the inning. It's 1-0 Toronto.
The Jays offense for a quick second. The start they are off to after their first 10 games this season. Unbelievable. 114 hits thus far in the season, second most through 10 games in the history of their franchise. Their 68 runs, third most. Their .313 batting average, second most from a couple years ago back in 06. And I spoke to Gene Tennis, their hitting coach, and he just basically gave me cliche answers. We get out of the gate fast, we're seeing good pitches, we're hitting them, and let's just hope we keep it up. Sounds like, spoken like a veteran coach, Bert Blyleven, not buying into it after 10 games.
See the ball, hit the ball, and when you leave it up in the strike zone, the Blue Jays have not missed too many of them.
1-1 to Adam Lind. A couple of doubles, and Liriano misses the outside corner. 2-1. Lind, the designated hitter, then Scott Rowland and Kevin Millar.
The only left-hander in the lineup facing Liriano.
Foul back into the seats. 2-2. It seems like Liriano has been in the forefront of Twins fans' thoughts for a long time. But if he wins here tonight, it will be just his 20th career win. And he's gone through, of course, the major surgery, the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, this is his 37th major league start, his 51st major league appearance.
Right off the end of the bat.
And as I said, this is his 5th year. So you consider in 2007 it was a lost year because he had the Tommy John surgery in 2006. But last year, most of the year was spent down at the minor league level, made 14 starts, won 6 ball games last year. For the Twins, that is.
Full count to Lynn. Liriano had a 3-2 count with Scudero before yielding the leadoff double that led to the lone run of the game so far. There's another base hit on a 3-2 pitch. Leadoff man is on again. And our Chrysler key stat showing you that the Blue Jays are chasing some pretty lofty numbers. Tony Gwynn still playing for the Padres back in 1995 when they hit .341 in April.
We saw the Texas Rangers #2. They're playing very good baseball right now. They have 19 home runs as a ball club. Ian Kinsler hit for the cycle last night, 6 for 6.
A 6-hit game. Here's Roland. And there's a fastball for a strike.
Scott Baker gave up 4 home runs in yesterday's ball game. I thought the pitch that Roland hit a pretty good pitch. I thought inner half of the plate. The other 3 home runs were up in the strike zone. But Roland's still very quick inside.
A liner right over the left shoulder of Kevin Millar. And it's 1-2.
Roland has power. There's Millar on the on-deck circle. Probably did not even see it. Roland, a career .282 hitter. 275 career home runs. Excuse me, 274.
Last year, when Liriano came up with the Twins, he would average about a strikeout per inning pitched. Fastball sails away, 2-2. So far this year, Liriano with 12 and 2/3 innings pitched and just 6 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts. He struck out Wells to end the first inning. To short center. Span coming in, making a nice running catch. He had to cover a lot of ground. Sprinting straight in for out number 1. Follow Fox Sports North on Facebook and Twitter. Add us now and you'll be the first to know about upcoming features and events with your favorite hometown teams and receive exclusive sports updates throughout the day. Here's Millar. Up high, ball 1.
I think this is a good pickup for the Jays to get Millar. He went to spring training as a non-roster invitee, made the club. This guy's a gamer. I mean, he plays the game hard. You can see him leaning out over the plate.
High fly, short right field. And it is Casilla with the catch, out number 2. So Liriano with a strikeout and 4 fly ball outs, 2 down here in the second.
What Millar brings to the ball club is a world championship. You know, when he was with the Boston Red Sox, last 3 years with the Orioles.
And a nice compliment for Lyle Oberbay, who doesn't do real well against left-handed pitching. Here's Barajas. It's interesting with the lineup that Cito Gaston has, and obviously it has been a lineup that's been very productive so far, but in one respect, it's similar to the lineups that he had in the early 90s when he won a couple of world championships. Don't know that there's a batting champion out there like John Olerud, but the Blue Jays have yet to have a pinch hitting appearance this year. And that's what I remember about those Toronto teams that were so great in the late 80s and early 90s. They would have bench players, but there were no bench moves made. They had a lineup that was so good they didn't have to use pinch hitters very often.
Cito Gaston's kind of from the old school as far as his thinking. He lets the pitchers go a little bit deeper into the ball game. He lets the guys get their 4 or 5 at-bats. He doesn't do a lot of the things that a lot of managers, the switches to lefty to righty. He really lets the starters, and I like that about Cito Gaston, go a little bit extra. And a guy like Millar, if this is his day to play first, let him play there for 9 innings.
1-1 to Rod Barajas. Talking with Cito the other day, he was pointing out all these really good young players he was excited about with Toronto, and then he mentioned some not names, but the Blue Jays think they've got some really solid young catchers in their system that are going to be able to step up here in the next year or two. And Barajas, a veteran, and there's Morales tracking this pop-up, and he makes the catch. And Barajas and Barrett splitting the catching duties this year. Liriano pitches a scoreless second. General manager Doug Risebrough has not been renewed, and so in addition to looking for a new coach, the Wild will be looking for a new general manager. Obviously the general manager will be named first, then the head coach, then decisions to be made about Marian Gaborik and other such things. So not in the playoff field. The Wild making a lot of headlines nonetheless. Here's Michael Cuddyer leading off the Twins second, and he takes ball 1.
That'll be an interesting summer for the Wild. Had a great time last night meeting all the 4 of the hockey players that went down. They all had real good baseball swings. Surprised the heck out of me.
And I think if they were around tonight, we'd ask them if they knew last night about the news today. They probably said no. We were as surprised as anybody. I think the news today took everybody by surprise with Doug Risebrough not being retained. 2-1 to Michael Cuddyer. Cuddyer, Busher, and Young trying to get an equalizing run against Roy Halladay, who has never, ever lost to the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, the only American League team that has not been able to beat them.
Cuddyer with a sharp single to center. And the Twins get their leadoff man on here in the second inning.
Well, because the Twins do not see a lot of the Toronto Blue Jays, they may play them, 8, 9 times a year. You know, Roy Halladay, I mean, he came up with the Blue Jays back in 1998. And I remember when they sent him down in 2001 to Single A out of spring training to refine his delivery. And Mel Queen was a pitching coach down in Dunedin, Florida. And he went through the minor league system and finally got back up. And boy, ever since he refined his delivery, he has been, to me, one of the best pitchers in the game of baseball.
And now Brian Busher will get his first at bat against Roy Halladay. And Halladay misses the inside corner with that cutter. Span saw a steady diet of cutters, seeing Halladay for the first time. And I imagine Busher will probably get that pitch too. In their first strike, 1-1.
He'll throw that cutter in on lefties, and then he'll throw that two-seamer that has good action down and away, and then he'll throw that curveball. He has a changeup. I asked Pat Tabler, the color analyst, how many times he doesn't throw the changeup that much.
Bouncer to the right side, and it dribbles into right field. Kadyr's trying for third. Rios with the throw cut off, and the Twins have something started with Busher delivering a seeing eye single to right.
You know, plays like that are important for the Minnesota Twins. Not only the base hit, but the hustle by Michael Kadir. Ron Coomer, you got to like that right there.
Well, I think it was a great move by Kadir. Also a great move by Scotty Alger. Mike came around second base and wasn't sure to go or not. Scotty waved him. Michael took the aggressive route, came to third base, got here. But that's Twins baseball. Another good at bat by Brian Busher, looking for that cutter like we've talked about already, establishing inside and saying, I'm going to hit the ball in. He does, and he hooks it in the hole.
And this is a guy, Roy Halladay, that you have to gamble sometimes and hopefully get some big innings off of him.
Bounce to the right side, and they'll get one out at second base. They outcalled, the run scores. Young will get credit for a run batted in, and it's a tie ball game.
Guys, that right there, believe it or not, is a good at-bat by Delman Young. I'm not a big fan of him swinging at the first pitch every at-bat like we've seen. But against a guy like Halladay, when you get a pitch up and out over the plate, he's able to put it in play on the ground. Even if you hit into a double play, you still drive in that run. Each run you get off a guy this good, extremely important because they're hard to come by.
And that was a good hard slide by Brian Busher too, going to the outfield side. So when Scutaro caught it, he really had no chance to complete the double play.
Didn't have much of an opportunity to tell you before the at-bat or during the at-bat. But for whatever reason, Delman Young 6 for 11 lifetime against Halladay. That one hack foul, 1 strike. So when you've had success against somebody, that too would encourage you to take a good swing at the first pitch you like in the sequence.
Well, if you're a first ball fastball hitter like Delman is, okay, we all know he's ready to go up there swinging. Well, you're facing a guy like Halladay that he's thrown 19 pitches, 15 have been strikes, so he's going to be around the plate.
Another ground ball right side. Out there, and for the second time the ball comes out of Scutaro's glove, and for the second time they'll call the force out at second base.
Yeah, in the exchange, Scutaro lost the ball.
2 down, Harris to the plate. Target field seat selection is about to begin. You can be a part of history by ordering your 2009 Twins ticket plan today. Lower level 20 game plans start at $380. You can call 833-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com for all the details. Here's Harris. Twins have tied it up. At the knees, a strike. So you want to take the first pitch. Now you're behind in the count 0-1 to a guy who might be the best pitcher in the league.
Well, I always say attack the strike zone early in the ballgame, and that's exactly why Halladay's averaged 7.45 per innings over the last 7 years, because he's not afraid to attack the strike zone. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He goes right at the hitters, so all of a sudden in the 6th or 7th inning, he's still maybe at 60, 70, 80 pitches that will get him into the 8th.
High chopper over the mound. fielded by Hill. He steps on the bag. The inning ends. It starts with a couple of singles and finishes in a tie game. Minnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. You're looking at the Winnie-Wissa Waterfall in the Pipestone National Monument in southwestern Minnesota.
You could go tubing down there?
Once. You could do it once. Bautista leads things off in the third. You think of the southwestern part of the state, you think of flat agricultural land, but it's a beautiful part of the state of Minnesota down there. It doesn't look anything like what a lot of people would think. Pipestone on Highway 75 in the southwestern part of the state.
Quite a contrast in pitchers so far. Liriano has 1 strikeout, 5 fly ball outs, and there's a base hit up the middle.
Their leadoff hit for Toronto. They have 3 hits, and they've all come leading off an inning.
And Roy Halladay, he has 1 strikeout and 5 ground ball outs. So fly ball pitcher Liriano so far. Halladay, a ground ball pitcher to get outs.
Scudero led off the ball game with a double into the right field corner. Ended up scoring on a fly ball to right and a fumble in short right field on the relay throw by Alexi Casilla.
Yeah, that should be an unearned run when Scudero scored from third, because Rios hit that line drive to Busher, and then Liriano ended the inning by striking out Vernon Wells.
A belt high strike. Scudero, of course, former Oakland A.
Yeah, never really got a chance to play on a regular basis in Oakland. Came to Toronto, played in 145 ball games last year. Before that was John McDonald, David Eckstein.
Go on.
Yeah.
They had a lot of shortstops there over the last 4 or 5 years. 2 strikes to Scudero. The A's finally moved Bobby Crosby off of shortstop and turned him into more of a utility player with Orlando Cabrera now their shortstop. 1-2. Liriano's thrown now just under 40 pitches, and about 30 of those have come from the stretch. He's given up 3 leadoff hits in his first 3 innings. Dug out by Morales, and it's 2-2.
I know when I used to warm up down in a bullpen before the ball game, I didn't like to throw a lot out of the stretch, so you throw a lot out of the windup, And then you get out in the game, and sure enough, the first 4 or 5 innings, first guy gets on, all of a sudden you're in the stretch. I hated the stretch. I wanted to pitch out of the windup. I felt that's where I could be the most effective. But sometimes you find yourself that first hitter getting on, and then you're in the stretch the rest of that inning. Hopefully a ground ball right here. Scudero hopefully can hit a ground ball at one of the middle infielders.
And again, Liriano getting his outs on fly balls here tonight. And Bautista checked again.
A lot of those calls come from the dugout right there. Steve Little very good at picking up signs. Maybe thinking a hit and run is on. See if the runner will take off a little early.
And now a full count. We'll see if Bautista takes off now.
Nick Leyva, the third base coach, going through signs. I wouldn't be surprised Bautista takes off here. Scudero pretty good at making contact.
Runner stays put, and it's a called third strike. Bautista didn't take off, and Scudero takes an off-speed pitch for a called third strike.
Well, it looked like a changeup right there. Very good on a 3-2 pitch. He pulled the string. We'll take a look at the pitch right here. I'd really like to have that called right there.
So potentially a big strikeout. Scudero back in the dugout, and now Aaron Hill. Cracks one to left field. Down for a hit. Young fires it back to the infield.
Hey, Ron Coomer, when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays, I don't see a lot of guys stealing bases. I see more station-to-station type runners. Do you?
I would agree. The thing that's happened so far in this series when they have stolen a base, it's been because the pitcher has been slow to home plate. Although Liriano, this may not affect him as much because he's lefty, or Glenn Perkins, but in talking to the coaches and just understanding what the times are to home, you know, at times our pitchers can be a little slow to home, and if you're 1-5 or 1-6 to home plate, the guys are going to steal second base fairly easy.
Called strike on the inside corner to Rios, who hit a line drive speared by Busher at third. First time up.
Actually, Vernon Wells has 2 stolen bases. He leads the Blue Jays in that department.
And he's their cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
Swing over the top of the slider, and it's 0-2.
That's a very good slider right there. That's the Liriano slider that can get a lot of strikeouts.
Twins have just tied the game. Liriano would like to put a 0 up here in the top of the third. Another scoop by Morales, 1-2. One and 2 to Alex Rios. Pounded foul toward the Twins dugout. Nick Punto out of the starting lineup today. Jason Kubel, the designated hitter.
Yeah, Brian Busher playing third. Joe Crady does 3 for 21 lifetime against Halladay, so he gets the day off. Busher already 1 hit and 1 at bat.
Another 1-2 to Rios. Struck him out. At 93 miles per hour, it covered the black of the outside corner, and Rios waved at it. 2 down.
Well, third strikeout for Liriano. Just basically reared back and challenged him right here. And let it fly. Rios a little tardy, and Liriano picks up his third strikeout.
And now Wells. Wells went down on 3 pitches to wrap up the first inning.
That's why that slider down and in is so effective. If you could get that baby over, and then it makes that fastball that much better. Another good stop by Morales.
He's already had a full night of those here.
That's that slider right there. He knocks it down, keeps it in front of him.
1-0 to Vernon Wells. Might have been the changeup.
That was a very good changeup right there.
1-1.
Liriano's first start of the year against the Seattle Mariners on opening day. He lost to Felix Hernandez 6-1. And then his last outing against Bartolo Colon got shut out 8-0.
And that snaps over the inside corner for a called strike. So Liriano, at his first 3 pitches here to Wells, has missed with a fastball or a breaking ball. Got strike 1 with a changeup. Come back with a slider for a swinging strike. Morales with another nice block.
You know what I like about Liriano so far? Now the pitch count is at 51-52 right now. When he's missing down in the strike zone. In yesterday's ball game, Baker, when he missed, I mean, everything was up. Everything was up. Liriano, when he's missing down, and Morales is getting a great workout back there.
It's just the 3rd inning, and he's handled every ball in the dirt perfectly. Two and 2 to the Toronto cleanup hitter. And now a full count. The runners will leave early. 4th 3-ball count.
Now you have to be guessing as a pitcher that Wells is sitting on a fastball. He wants to drive the ball somewhere. And let's see what they decide to throw him right here. Are they going to go to the slider, or are they going to go to the changeup? Or is he going to rear back and challenge him?
Punch to center field. Looks like it'll end the inning. Nice job by Liriano pitching around a pair of singles.
I think that was the changeup right there.
hoping for a pitcher's duel here tonight, and although Roy Halladay's been a little bit more efficient with his pitches than Francisco Liriano, we do have a 1-1 game going to the bottom of the third. Bernard Span shows bunt, takes a strike.
You know, one thing, and I'm an opponent against the pitch count, and Ron Coomer, you noticed something down there.
I did. When Francisco came off the mound, he got the third out. He looked up at the board to see what his pitch count was, and it's at 53 or 54 pitches now. And to me, I've never been a fan of two things in a ballpark. One, the miles per hour being on there so the pitcher can see it. And the second thing is the pitch count for the pitcher. Now that it's made such a big deal, does that change his focus on what he's doing on the mound, because he knows he's only got a couple more innings to pitch with a 53 pitch count?
Well, you hope to get, the next guy, and there's a strikeout right there by Halladay. He picks up his second strikeout. Good fastball middle in. Well, the home plate umpire giving the inner half of the plate to both starters. But you know what, Ron and Dick, I wish they would take that off the board, because you're right. I mean, it's going to get into a sixth inning. You look up and you're at 92 pitches. You go in wondering if, oh, geez, if I have one more, can I get one more? I don't like that. You do that so much by feel.
That will trickle foul, and for the second time, Rollins had a little dribbler hit in front of him. But you know what? I mean, whatever the crowd is here, let's say it's 20,000. They know that Liriano's tenure in this game is dependent on the pitch count. So that's important information for them.
Well, I say feel. You feel what that pitcher's going through and how he's throwing. I mean, to me, Liriano's a young man that could go over 100. I think they ought to raise that pitch count to 115, 120, because if you're going to throw 115, 120 in a ball game, you're not going to pitch very good. I guarantee you that.
Well, today, in 5 2/3 innings in the opening of Yankee Stadium, CC Sabathia threw 123 pitches.
He didn't pitch very good, did he?
Yeah, Frankie's a young, strong guy. Whether you throw 100 pitches, 105 pitches, or 115, to me, he's not throwing tomorrow anyway.
But so guys, it was 2 years ago. He missed the whole year with the elbow.
So I mean, he's healthy again. He says he's healthy again.
He's throwing 93 consistently. He's healthy again. I'll tell you that from a hitter's perspective. That slider is good again. I just don't understand by showing the young guys that. I don't think that's a positive thing to put in their mind when they take the mound.
I agree with you full-heartedly, Ron Coomer.
1-2.
Because if I was a pitcher today, and if I went into the seventh inning, I would look up, and if I'm at 95, I have one more inning. That's it. That's not very positive to me. That's a negative.
Garcia gets the bat on the ball, and it's a little dribbler, and Millar flips to Halladay. 2 down. You can submit a question to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Mitch Brown from Edina wondering what is the status of Corey Koski's comeback, and simply put, it's over.
Yeah, we saw Corey Koski here a couple times already at the ballpark.
Corey, of course, left the Twins to go play for the Blue Jays, and then I guess finished his career at the major league level.
Well, he went to spring training this year.
Right, but I mean with the Brewers, and then went to the spring training with the Cubs. He was down in Iowa, and I know the Cubs had high hopes that he'd get some at-bats, get fully into baseball shape, and be able to help him down the road.
Well, I talked to Corey Koski here, and he said that he felt really good, except he still started to get a little bit dizzy, and I think that scared him, and I don't blame him. And Corey, I think, has decided that he's going to spend more time with the kids and be at home.
2-0 to Morneau. Got a 2-out single in the first.
You have to give him a lot of credit. I mean, for trying to come back from that concussion, and what his life has been since, he landed on his head in Milwaukee.
2-1. Morneau swings and misses. Well, Aaron Hill last year got tangled up with shortstop David Eckstein, and he had a lot of the same symptoms, but and who knows how these things work. Hill was able to come back quicker than Corey could.
Well, they thought Hill was going to come back in September, and he didn't come back till spring training. So it affects, I'm sure, everybody differently. I said Halladay doesn't throw a changeup, and there's another base hit off the bat of Justin Morneau going the other way. I was talking about, to Pat Tabler about he doesn't throw a lot of changeups off, the fastball. You saw the prior pitch before Corey Koski got that base hit was the curveball. That's his changeup. He changes speeds with the curveball. Right there, fastball away. Good piece of hitting right there by Justin Morneau, taking it the other way, right off the glove of Rolen.
Kubel up with a man aboard. There's Pat Tabler. Well, his claim to fame was he was about the best there ever was with the bases loaded, right?
Yeah.
He had just incredible numbers with the bases loaded.
Man, he could hit. He was a teammate of mine in Cleveland. He was a great hitter.
Outside to Kubel, who hit a dribbler.
And especially with bases loaded.
A dribbler to Millar his first time up. Kubel now 1 for 10 against Halladay. Not a whole lot to pick from if you're Ron Gardenhire trying to put together a run-producing lineup. And there's that off-speed pitch that's over for a strike, 1-1.
Well, again, there hasn't been a lot of players for the Twins that have faced Roy Halladay a lot, other than Joe Crede 21 times. The next one is Delman Young, who's 6 for 11 off of him.
Sharp ground ball hit right at Rolen. He'll go the short way and retire Morneau, and the inning ends. We're on to the 4th inning in a 1-1 game. Each team with a run, each team with 4 hits in the Grand Casino game reset.
Yeah, 53 pitches for Liriano, 39 pitches for Roy Halladay, 6 fly ball outs, 3 strikeouts for Liriano over the first 3 innings, and 2 strikeouts and 7 ground ball outs for Roy Halladay.
Let's see if Liriano can get the leadoff batter here. In the 3 prior innings, the Blue Jays have gotten a leadoff hit, including Lynn's leadoff single in the second. 1-0. Big swing and a miss. 1-1. Lind, Rolen, and Millar facing Liriano. The Toronto run, an unearned run in the first inning. There was a Casilla error that allowed the first run of the game to score. 2-1.
You know, we're talking to we're talking to Ron Coomer about the pitch count and everything. Liriano's going to throw a lot of pitches. That's just the way he is. He's a young guy that can basically overpower hitters at times. You know, coming into this year, he at the major league level, 220 innings pitched, 244 strikeouts. So he's a strikeout pitcher. Where Roy Halladay, he's pitched almost 2,000 innings, and he's got a little over 1,300 strikeouts. So he's going to strike out 6 or 7 guys a game.
Luke to left, and Delman Young with a sliding catch. 1 away, and the leadoff man finally is retired.
Nice play right there by Delman Young. Good concentration. Always that ball on hit on that line drive. You're always thinking about the lights here at the Metrodome.
Aflac trivia question. Maybe it's 91 ALCS related. Nope. Who are the only Toronto pitchers to win 20 games, 20 plus games, twice for the Blue Jays?
Well, there's one of them right there.
All right, we got an
Yep, we're
winning answer.
Anymore. 22-7 back in 2003 when he won the Cy Young, and then last year 20-11.
Jack Morris won 20 games for the Jays the year he left the Twins and went to Toronto. But then the next year, I think Jack was hurt and didn't get a chance to pitch that much. Dave Stieb, perhaps. Jim Clancy. I'm trying to think some of the great pitchers that they've had over the years. Jimmy Key. I don't know that Juan Guzman ever won 20.
How about Mr. Clemens?
Ah, there you go. Won a couple of Cy Youngs for the Jays. 2 strikes to roll it. And now a ball.
I think Jim Clancy was the first Blue Jay to win 20 ball games. I don't know if Dave Stieb ever won 20.
Yeah.
He's a great pitcher. Yeah. One of the best sliders you'd ever want to see from Dave Stieb.
1-2. Busher picks it up from his knees, fires and got him. What a play by Brian Busher.
Rowland hitting this ball sharply. Busher diving to his left, knocks it down, and then from his knees throws a rocket over to Morneau. He does not give up.
You know, I'm sure you saw it yesterday too. Brian Busher was here on the field by himself.
Nobody else had come out with him?
Well, no, he was at third base, and Joe Vavra was flipping pitches to Scotty Alger, and Alger was whacking him as hard as he could in Busher's direction at third base to work on what we just saw there. And Busher got the job done, and I can guarantee as he goes into the dugout, in fact, he might be looking into Scotty Alger right now. They worked on what we just saw yesterday before the game. I've never seen Scotty Alger hit the ball so hard. He hit more balls hard yesterday than he did when he was with the Twins in '83.
Oh.
Well, he only had 70-some at bats. Tap foul.
Ron Coomer, what do you see down there from Busher?
I see Busher making a great play. The one thing that they did, it's hard to emulate the speed of the actual game, and that's why they do that drill for infielders that don't play every day.
High pop up towards Casilla.
Good inning.
A 1-2-3 inning in the fourth for Liriano. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Quest. Get in the loop and join the community that's changing the way people connect. By Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Roy Halladay delivers strike one to Michael Cuddyer, and that's been a pattern Halladay has had throughout his major league career. Get ahead of hitters. This whole notion, all the innings pitched and the complete games and all of that is because he delivers strike one like a machine.
Hey, he trusts his stuff. He really does. He does a good job. He realizes get strike one, then he can move the ball in and out. He's faced 14 batters, got strike one so far on 10 of the 14.
2-1 to Cuddyer. Started the second inning with a single and later scored the lone Twins run so far. At the knees, 2-2. Cuddyer, Busher, and Young facing Doc Halladay. Cuddyer hits it off the end of the bat to Millar. Halladay covers, one down. Halladay's career mark 133 and 66. In essence, since 1999. And what makes that particularly impressive is the Blue Jays for that time, in essence, have been a 500 ball club, and he's won twice as many as he's lost. The only Toronto pitchers to win 20 or more twice are Roger Clemens and Roy Halladay. One down in the fourth. Here's Busher.
And Clancy did not win 20. I was looking at the pitching department of the Dave Steve won 20. I take it back. He won 18. That's the most he won. Pat Henkin won 20 in 1996. Jack Morris, of course, in 92.
Halladay misses inside. 1-1 to Busher, who got a seeing eye single that contributed to the Twins scoring a run in the second. Up the line, foul. And in retrospect, the Twins would not have scored that run without that aggressive base running play you talked about with Michael Cuddyer. One and two. Off the glove of Halladay, and it still gets smoked into center field. So Busher has a pair of hits against the Toronto ace. Twins and Angels play at the Dome tomorrow night, and it's a Cub Foods Fantastic Friday presented by Land O'Lakes Milk. You can buy a ticket in the home run porch, get a free half-gallon of Land O'Lakes milk, chocolate milk, or orange juice. The first 30,000 fans will get a magnet schedule from Cub as well, so call 800-33-TWINS for tickets. Did you drink chocolate milk as a kid?
Yeah.
You still drink it?
Not really. No. Doesn't taste good with Cheerios. You still drink chocolate milk?
I gave up chocolate milk about the time I started shaving, age 27, I believe. No, I shaved when I was younger than that. Delman Young with a foul, and it's 1-1. Young drove in the Twins run with a ground ball.
Delman Young, you saw him looking down at Scotty Alger as he went through a set of signs down that third base coaching box.
Busher goes, and a wicked shot into the Toronto dugout.
Yeah, a little hit and run put on right there. Busher off with the pitch toward home plate. And watch out. Mike Barrett, isn't it?
Yep, Michael Barrett.
Saw Busher take off right there and right off the end of the bat.
I think he got hit. One and two to Young.
He's a catcher. Those guys are used to getting hit.
Nice stop by Barajas. That pitch landed in the middle of the left-handed batter's box. So Young, as we said, has had some success against Halladay in grounding out and driving in a run in the second. Young is still 6 for 12 in his career against Halladay. Off-speed pitch got him for out number 2.
Oh, there's that curveball right there. Same curveball that struck out Casilla in the first inning. Big sweeping curveball. Strikeout number 3 for Roy Halladay.
And that'll bring up Jose Morales. Morales bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. And that cutter inside. And Morales is able to make weak contact. Left-handed batters do that a lot with Halladay. The cutter eats them up and they end up having to go back and get a new bat.
Halladay, 31 years old, born in Denver, Colorado, still makes that area his home in his 12th season with the Blue Jays. Number 1 pick back in 1995.
Millar picks it out of the dirt and steps on the bag to end the inning. We head to the 5th. It's still 1 apiece. Had a low-scoring ball game here 2 nights ago, and the Twins ended up on top in 11 innings. Maybe that's what we will have waiting for us again here tonight. It's 1 apiece going to the 5th inning. And Francisco Liriano will face Rod Barajas, Jose Bautista, and Marco Scutaro.
Well, both the pitchers doing a good job. Again, the ground ball out that Busher made off the batter rolling, the only ground ball out that Liriano's been able to get so far. All the other fly ball outs to go with his 3 strikeouts. And Roy Halladay, 9 ground ball outs, yet has an outfielder made a catch or an infielder.
Barajas, a big swing and a foul, 1 strike. Again, Liriano pitched very well through 4 innings in his last start against the White Sox, and then in the 5th, umpires squeezed him. Some weird things happened. So foul down the left field line. The inning started, that 5th inning, with a light hitting catcher Corky Miller delivering a sharp single to left, and the inning pretty much unraveled from there. So now Barajas is leading off the fifth. Liriano, who got the leadoff man in the fourth inning, would like to get the leadoff man here in the fifth. Busted bat and a dribbler to short. Harris over to Morneau, one away.
Good pitch right there, hard sinking fastball.
You were a strikeout pitcher your entire career.
Well, I don't know if I was a strikeout pitcher. See Barajas swinging at a pitch down. I mean,
well, you were third all time at one point.
Yeah, when I retired, but I didn't go into the ball game thinking I was going to strike out a lot of guys. I never had I had a 115 strikeout ball game, maybe a couple, but I averaged probably 6 or 7 strikeouts. But I attacked the zone, and that's one thing I like about Roy Halladay. He really does that. You look at the difference, between the two pitchers. And Ron Coomer, what do you see the difference between Liriano and Roy Halladay?
Well, to me, you see the graphic there, and that shows some of it. But to me, as a hitter, just looking at the two guys and how you would go after facing both of these guys. Liriano is a guy who's a max effort guy who throws a lot of pitches in a ball game that I would consider
in a short amount of time.
Pitches that I would not even offer at. Those sliders bouncing in the dirt, that you just uncompetitive pitches because of his max effort and trying to throw everything the best he can throw it. Now you look at Halladay on the other hand, I don't think you can count on one hand the number of pitches that have missed his target by more than 3 or 4 inches. And because of that, every pitch he throws has a purpose, and his pitch count, because of it, stays down.
Yeah, the guy knows how to pitch. He's got a lot of innings. He's got almost 2,000 innings in his career, and Liriano has, 220 coming into this year.
Span will chase it, and it'll bounce over the fence for a ground rule double.
And you hope, through the years and Liriano staying healthy, he's going to be the pitcher that everybody feels he can be.
Right, and that's not a knock against Francisco. There are there's guys that are Hall of Fame pitchers that pitched a lot like him, that had great stuff, that had high pitch counts, and that's just the way they pitched. And they'd make you look foolish sometimes, and you'd swing at some of those pitches, but you just look at the two different styles to me as a hitter, and you see a lot of pitches from Frankie that are in the dirt, that are pitches you wouldn't offer at, or you'd at least hope not to.
Scudero, the hitter, he hits it hard to center. Span back a few steps, makes the catch. Bautista will try to advance, and he'll reach safely on out number 2.
Right there, Ron Coomer. Should Harris go out a little bit further, because Denard Span does not have the arm that, say, a Carlos Gomez does. Bautista, he tagged up right there. He went back and tagged up, and Harris was almost at that shortstop position. Watch Harris right here as that ball is hit to a line drive to Span. Span getting behind it, but you can see the arm strength is not as strong. And if Harris goes out a little bit further, could there have been maybe a closer play or a play at third?
There could have been a play. I think it's a great base running move by Bautista, finding out and looking at Denard Span and seeing how he caught the ball. Did he catch it coming aggressively towards the infield, or was his weight going back towards the center field wall, which is the case because the ball drove him back and it was a line drive. As soon as he saw his weight going back towards center field, he was able to take third base. Just a great base running move by Bautista. I think Harris could have been out farther, but I don't know either way if they'd have had a play.
But to be honest with you, of all 4 outfielders,
you look at his weight going backwards.
Yeah, probably Span is the one that they would run on more than, say, Delman Young or Michael Kadire in this situation.
Correct, absolutely. Yep. But if Denard is coming in for that ball with a couple good steps behind him, there's no way Bautista takes third base. Because he caught that ball almost flat-footed because it was a line drive and it took him back, he was able to take third.
2 strikes to Hill, and the pitch inside. Did it hit him? It did not, and the Twins get a friendly bounce from the backstop. Bautista, who alertly advanced to third, couldn't quite pull the trigger on a sprint home.
I was about to say, now a wild pitch scores Bautista, and sure enough, it almost was. This ball just took off, and ricochets off of the glove of Morales, and luckily the ball hitting the backstop here and then deflecting straight back toward Morales. So Bautista alertly got back to third.
1-2. Inside again.
Bert, you said you wanted some more fastballs inside.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
I like that. I mean, you throw that hard, and what he did right there, he repeated it. It wasn't only one time, okay, let's go away. He went back in again.
Now as a hitter, your guess is you just don't know what he's going to do, either hard in or soft away. You don't know.
Driven to right, a base hit. The Blue Jays are back in front. So he came inside hard twice and then went outside with a fastball, and Hill stood up there like he was waiting for it.
You're facing a guy that's red hot in Aaron Hill. I know Francisco wanted that ball down a little bit, but Hill, look at that. Quick hands right there, stayed back and just drove that ball into right field for the go-ahead RBI right now. He picks up his 12th RBI of the year.
And now Rios is lined out and struck out. So the Blue Jays have done a lot of hitting, and they've done a lot of two-out hitting in this series. They get a big two-out hit from Hill to take their second lead of the night. Foul back.
And that's another situation you have to credit Bautista to tag up right there, because that ball was hit so sharply. Would have Nick Leyva sent Bautista because of Michael Kadyr's great arm out in right field.
No, there's no chance. He would have never sent him on that ball with Mike. So really, out of the 3 runs that have scored, 2 of them have been scored because of good, solid base running by both teams.
Exactly.
Anthony is a strike, 0-2. Only 2 extra base hits in the game. The Blue Jays have both of them, and they both have led to their runs. A leadoff double in the first, a 1-out double in the 5th. Now they've got him picked off. Orno's throw right to the bag. Harris with the tag, and that's the end of the inning. He'll erase, but not until he puts the Jays back in front. We're at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, final game of this series. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven, Robbie Smikoski, and Ron Coomer. With the Twins down a run, Brendan Harris will lead off the 5th against Doc Halladay. Doc Halladay. And first pitch is over for a strike. Harris hit a chopper over the mound. Hill got a force play at second base, his first time up, and now 2 strikes.
So many times in baseball, you see pitchers that don't go over their heads. That's why I like Roy Halladay, the way that he goes about his business. Kind of brings everything to a balance point, kind of gets them going with that glove over the head. and then he'll kind of, that glove sticks out rather than, bring the glove up to your chest only. And hitters, I think, see the ball a lot better. I think he hides the ball very well because of that glove going over the head, and then rocks, and there's the ball.
Well, I always thought the theory was, when I was a child of the 50s and 60s, that pitchers should do that to stretch out their arm, shoulder, and back muscles. And now, rare is the pitcher who does what Halladay does.
I don't know why pitchers don't do that, especially when you see a guy like a Nolan Ryan or somebody like that, or Roy Halladay, do that and have success with it.
For, in your case, 23 years, Nolan Ryan's case, 26 years.
Tommy John did it over his head. There are a lot of guys that did that. Jim Cott was the same way.
Right.
Kitty Cott. Kitty.
So many times muscles are compared to like rubber bands, and stretching it out prolongs the life of the rubber band.
Yeah, too many guys are stiff now. They're almost too stiff out there, where over your head just kind of relaxes you a little bit.
Here's Span, who's trying to get relaxed against Halladay. He's 0 for 2 in his first game against him. And Harris flushed back to the bag. What we've seen here, not that this is necessarily a bunting situation, but with Millar holding the runner, but we've seen Millar playing a deep first base while the third baseman is coming in, or playing in, with Halladay on the mound, which suggests to me that they think Halladay is a pretty good fielding pitcher, and he can field that bunt along the first base line.
His momentum too is taking him over toward that first base line.
And strike to Span. Time the Twins got a leadoff hit, they turned it into a run back in the second inning. Span with a foul, 0-2.
Well, it's that little cutter that he has. Twice he has gone inside to Span, and Denard saying, I can get that ball, but it just keeps running in on you. It's like a buzzsaw. All he can do is foul it off.
Span was struck out on 3 pitches back in the third inning. Now behind in the count again, 0-2.
Rojas. See what this pitch is right here. Is it the curveball? That's the cutter. They got hit him.
It hit Span, and Halladay is arguing now with home plate umpire Mark Wagner. Harris advances to second regardless, but Span took that breaking ball off of maybe his back foot.
Halladay is arguing whether he went too far. If it was a strike, did he swing at it? That's what Halladay wanted to know. Did he go too far? But looked like Span held up, and it ended up hitting the back foot. See the big break right there, hitting the heel of Span as he takes first by being hit by a pitch.
Span reaction, folding his hands at first base and looking skyward like, thank you, I got to first base against Halladay with an 0-2 count. That was priceless. Here's Casilla in what might be a bunting situation here.
Definitely a bunting situation here. Millar, the first baseman, he's looking bunt as Scott Rowland at third is.
Great chance for the Twins to get it tied up or more here. Casilla bunts it foul off his leg, or somewhere below the belt.
Well, the play for the Blue Jays that was on right there is that they're going to try to get the runner at third, and that being Brendan Harris, because Halladay was breaking toward the line as Scott Rowland went back toward third base. Take a look at this right here. Millar comes in. Halladay gets off that mound. He's going to cover that line. And Scott Rowland played back. What Casilla wants to do is bunt the ball towards Scott Rowland. Bunt it toward third. Make Scott Rowland come in and have to field it.
And he takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Fundamentally, the Twins need to execute here, and it's going to be a lot tougher now on an 0-2 pitch.
Let's take a look like a breaking ball right here. Maybe that little cutter, but it's belt high. Let's see if Ron Gardenhire keeps it on. And you don't have too many chances against a guy like Halladay.
Blue Jays are reacting like the bunt's still on. Rolling in a step at third. Millar at first. And Halladay strikes out Casilla on away.
Well, second time he is able to get Casilla. Strikeout number 4, and it's a big one. So Casilla unable to lay down the bunt, and he goes back to the curveball, the same curveball that struck him out in the first.
And now Halladay to face Morneau, who's touched him for a couple of singles. Morneau's average up to 357. And Halladay wants a new set of signs. On the outside corner. And the greatness of a pitcher like Halladay is often proven in at-bats like this.
In situations like this. Yep. Justin got a couple pitches away that he hit the base hit to pass the diving hill in his first at-bat. Then took the fastball away off the glove of Scott Rowland.
One strike to Morneau. Missing inside 1-1.
Yeah, I think if he goes in, he wants to make sure he misses in. I like that pitch right there. I think he's going to try to get Justin out right here, either on the curveball or the two-seamer away.
1-2.
And that being the curveball right there. He's got two different types of curveballs. You'll see the cutter, then the big curveball that struck out Casilla, and then the harder curveball that he threw Justin right there.
See what Morneau can get done here with a 1-2 count against the Toronto Ace.
Well, you're hoping he makes a mistake.
High fastball got him 2 down.
You know, you look down, down, down. You look for the curveball. You look for the cutter. And what does he do? He runs that fastball up about letter high with some gas on it. Strikeout number 5.
And now Barajas to the mound to make sure he and Halladay are on the same page with Kubel.
You know, they always say about great pitchers that when they are in situations like this, they find that little extra. Bob Gibson was probably known for the guy that, you know, would go about his business. All of a sudden he ran into trouble, and all of a sudden that fastball, instead of, 90, it became 93. He found that little extra. And I think he found that little extra on that strikeout to Justin Morneau with that high fastball.
And Kubel swings over the cutter. He throws it in off the plate to left-handed batters. So from up here, at least, it seems even if they get the barrel of the bat on it, the only thing they can do is pull it foul.
Hit it foul, right.
And there it is again. Now, if Kubel gets the good part of the bat on that ball, it's going to get screamed over the Toronto bullpen. And the end result's still the same. It's just a strike.
Or watch out Michael Barrett again.
That's right. Well, Halladay one good pitch away from pitching out of a jam here in the 5th. Got him on 3 cutters. So Halladay hits Span. The Twins have a threat, and then he strikes out Casilla, Morneau, and Kubel.
In early trouble. Welcome back, everyone, to Twins Baseball. I'm Robbie Mikowski, and I'm joined in the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle by Chris from Apple Valley. And Chris, he has a Bert Blyleven semi-score sheet right here. Bert, you pitched a complete game shutout, 1 walk, 6 Ks in a 2-0 victory 20 years ago.
Wow, who did I beat?
Yeah, now, what made you come up with that, Chris?
It was 20 years ago, and we're here with work, so we thought it'd be something significant to get Bert's stats up on the board here.
Bert's stats up, and circle him too, Bert. He's happy to be here right in front of us. Chris from Apple, congratulations. Get 100 scratch-off lottery tickets, and have a good night. Jessica, 12 years old, the friend hanging out right here, and these fans are having a blast down the right field line, guys. Wish you were here to join us.
Well,
you remember that game?
Oh, I wish I did. Well, I had 60 shutouts. I can't remember all of them, but I should remember that one.
1-2 to Rios. And Liriano strikes out Rios for the second time.
Well, Liriano picking up his 4th strikeout of the ball game, hitting Rios for the 2nd time.
You can create your own Twins collectible using your favorite photos at the photo store at twinsbaseball.com. In 3 easy steps, you can make your own Twins memory. Go to twinsbaseball.com to find out how. And remember, you can get your single game tickets right now at twinsbaseball.com. Here's Vernon Wells, 0 for 2. Liriano's pitched very well. He's on the short end of the score right now. Remember, the first Toronto run was an unearned run. He didn't walk anybody in his first start this year and hasn't walked anyone tonight.
No, he's like Ron Coomer mentioned before. He's an all-out effort type pitcher that he's just going to rear back and let it go. Right at 91 pitches right now.
Toward the hole and through. A 1-out single for Vernon Wells. Coming up on Saturday, NASCAR on Fox moves to the Phoenix International Raceway, where Jimmy Johnson will try to defend his title against a full field of the world's best drivers. Coverage of the Subway Fresh Fit 500 from Phoenix. The
Say that 3 times over.
Fresh Fit 500 from Phoenix begins Saturday.
One more time.
The Fresh Fit 500 from Phoenix.
Very good.
It's in high definition here on Fox. Adam Lynn takes a ball. Now Liriano's pitch count climbing toward 100. And that stat line from your game 20 years ago did not make mention of how many pitches you threw in that shutout. Probably what, 307, something like that?
See, I was with the Angels in 1989. That's why. Maybe it was against the Twins that I did it. I'll have to go look at baseballreference.com and see if I did it or not.
Maybe you got 61 shutouts. You just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Where's Jim Palmer when I need him? He remembers every pitch he ever threw. I forgot what I had for breakfast.
One and one. Lynn with a single and a liner to left. Matt Guerrero warming up. In the 9th inning in St. Petersburg, the White Sox leading the Rays 2-1. The Cleveland Indians took apart the New York Yankee bullpen and shredding the Yankees 10-2 at New Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, the Washington Nationals finally have a win. So welcome on the wet win column. The Washington Nationals now are 1-7.
Indians getting a good start today from Cliff Lee. Their starting pitching has been terrible. And Lee has contributed to the poor starting pitching. Last year's Cy Young Award winner. 1-2. And Lynn strikes out for out number 2. And that'll bring up Scott Rowland.
Well, strikeout number 5 for Liriano. To me, he's just getting loose. Good hard slider right there.
Roland had a hit taken away by Brian Busher in the fifth inning, or fourth inning, I should say.
Can you imagine, Dick, way back when Koufax first came up, or Nolan Ryan, that they said, 100 pitches, you're done? Nolan Ryan there would have been a lot of times he only went 4 innings.
Well, I know would he end up winning 320 games?
Somewhere in there.
He wouldn't have won 300. I know that because he would have had 100 pitches by the end of the third or fourth inning.
Right.
Easy. He was one of those guys, and very early on, both Randy Johnson and Koufax were that way too, where you hope to string walks together, not hits. You would end up with more walks than hits.
Former Twin Steve Braun loved facing Nolan Ryan for some reason. We always seemed to beat him 1-0, 2-0. But he'd strike out 17, 18 guys. Nolan Ryan would. He'd walk 5 or 6 or 7. And Steve Braun would always get the big hit. He or Danny Thompson. They always seem to get the big hits for the Twins against Nolan.
3-0 now to Roland with Millar on deck. And a 4-pitch walk. We'll put 2 runners on with 2 out here in the 6th, and we'll see what the Twins do here with Liriano, whether they'll let him ride through the 6th inning or go make a pitching change.
No, you know what? If they want the pitchers to, go a little bit deeper, Ricky Anderson's coming out. He normally doesn't make the pitching change. Just kind of get Liriano a breather right here. Give him a chance right here to get out of this situation. That's one thing Ron Gardenhire talked about in spring training. He'd like the pitchers to go a little bit further to take some of the pressure off the bullpen. Matt Guerrero, he's been warming up, but he would rather start the next inning than having to come into a situation where he needs to get that last out.
And almost without exception, you go through a season, if you collect box scores, and I think a lot of fans still do that, you'll know, you don't even have to look at the final score. You'll know things are going well for a pitching staff when you see pitchers completing innings, whether it's 6, 7, or 8. But when somebody goes 6 and somebody starts the 7th, you'll know that things are going pretty well for that team at that time. So Liriano will get at least one more chance to complete the 6th inning. He'll start this at bat with 100 pitches. Over the inside corner, a strike. Millar has popped up to second twice.
This is exactly what he did to Millar in his last at bat. He kept pounding him in, pounding him in. Remember, Millar hit one into the blue seats down the left field line, but foul, and then he ended up popping up to Casilla in the 4th inning.
Missing inside, 1-1.
Going back in there again. And this is why pitching inside is important. Now you keep busting him in, and then all of a sudden maybe you could throw that changeup away like Perkins did the other night to change his kind of repertoire a little bit.
Morales with a nice catch. It's 2-1.
Yeah, Morales has done a very nice job here tonight handling Liriano and a lot of those pitches down in the dirt.
There's some perhaps throwing issues for Morales that they're working on, and they're confident that will get better, but he's done a nice job blocking pitches. 2-1 to Millar. Fly ball, short right field. Kadire comes in.
Good job.
Getting over. Liriano completes 6 innings. Stranding a couple of runners. It's still 2-1. Michael Kadire leading off the Twins' sixth against Roy Halladay. Will start this inning with 73 pitches. Kadire with a leadoff single in the second. He scored the only Twins run. There's a breaking ball missing up and in.
And Francisco Liriano getting the handshake from manager Ron Gardenhire. He pitched a great ball game right there. He battled tonight.
And now a strike to Kadire. Twins with 2 starts by right-handers in this series, and that they didn't go very well. The 2 starts by left-handed starters have been much more effective starts. Another slow breaking ball. This one clips the inside corner, and it's 1-2.
Well, you know why I like, Liriano having the chance to get Kevin Millar out right there, because you don't want your pitchers getting late in the ball game when their pitch count is up and all of a sudden looking down at the bullpen and saying, who's going to bail me out? And Kadire goes down on strikes, and it's 4 straight strikeouts now for Roy Halladay. Total of 7 in the ball game.
I don't think he threw Kadire anything but curveballs.
Well, he threw Jason Kubel nothing but those cutters down in him.
And then, of course, in completing 6 innings, Liriano got a chance to win a ball game if the Twins to score a couple of runs here.
Yep.
Here's Busher. He's got 2 singles against Halladay. Around the hands, ball 1.
Well, there's that little cutter again that he's throwing in on those left-handers.
Skied near second base. And it's the shortstop, Scutaro, making a catch, 2 down. That'll bring up Delman Young.
If you can prove that you can throw that little cutter in there, and you almost saw Busher react, open up a little quicker, and that created that pop-up. So he's staying inside on left-handers, and he created that little pop-up, and that's the first fly ball out that the Twins have been able to muster off of Roy Halladay.
Here's Delman Young. Laced to the second baseman. Young hits it hard on the first pitch, and Halladay has a quick 1-2-3-6. Lead in the final game, and win number 20 in his major league career, proving to be an elusive one for Francisco Liriano. He will not get the win here tonight. Matt Guerrero relieves in the 7th.
He pitched a great ball game. 6 very good innings for Liriano. For Matt Guerrero, he's making his 5th relief appearance. He worked here on Monday night. He gave up 1 hit, 1 run with a walk and a strikeout when the Twins lost 8-6.
Barajas will lead things off in the 7th. And Guerrero hits the inside corner. So far, so good for the 2 leading candidates to be setup men for Joe Nathan. Both Crane and Guerrero have done well in a handful of appearances this year. And Guerrero, who hits the inside corner with one pitch, now hits the outside corner with a breaking pitch. Crane was simply outstanding in 2 innings of relief here 2 nights ago. Check swing. No, 1-2. Tim Timmons is the first base umpire. Best thing about a 4-game series is all 4 umpires get a game at every base. I don't know why I just said that. I don't know that that's a good thing or not, but that's the way it works out. And another leadoff hit for Toronto. Barajas drops a base hit into right. And the leadoff man is on in the 7th. Here's the Dodge game summary.
Well, Marco Scudero started the Blue Jays off with a double. And then Michael Cuddyer off the bat of Aaron Hill went back to the wall, fell right there, and then hit the cutoff man Casilla, but Casilla let the ball get away. And that allowed Scudero to score an unearned run in the first. Delman Young on a fielder's choice scores Michael Cuddyer, who hustled from first to third in the previous at-bat. And that tied the game. And then Aaron Hill, who's been on fire, gets the RBI single in the 5th to score Batista. That had a 1-out double.
Batista with a pair of hits. Maybe we're all reminded a little bit about how Cito Gaston likes to manage, what he likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. Here's the number 9 hitter in a very close ball game. After the 8th place hitter gets a base hit, there's been no hint of a bunt.
Well, think about this, Dick, too. I mean, Travis Snyder has pretty much owned the Twins in his young career. And this would be a perfect spot for Snyder to pinch hit for Batista, who would and take over in left field.
Blue Jays have 3 sacrifice bunts this year.
But Batista's already had a single and a double.
He has one of the 3 sacrifice bunts, but with every pitch, Buscher's moving back farther at third. 2-2. There's Snyder. Right now, he's not playing much against left-handed pitchers, but that's probably going to change over the course of the season. And now a full count. And we'll see if Barajas takes off from first.
Well, if he does, it's a good chance for a strike him out, throw him out. Barajas, being the catcher, not known for his quickness.
Popped up down the right field line. Casilla with a long run and a basket catch in foul territory, 1 away.
Well, good hustle right there by Casilla. And here again, here at the Metrodome, you have to keep your eye on that ball. Casilla does not take his eye on the ball, off the ball, and does make the basket catch and then gets the ball back in the infield.
And now Scudero. White Sox have added a run in the top of the 9th. They lead Tampa Bay 3-1. Rare just off the plate, ball 1. Scudero started the game with a double into the right field corner, and he was the guy who scored on Hill's fly ball to the wall in right center field. There's the outside corner, 1-1. That's hit well to left field. Delman Young going back, and it's gone. A home run for Scudero. A 2-run jolt, and it's 4-1 Toronto.
I tell you what, these Blue Jays are hot. You know, Matt Guerrero, the 3 previous pitches, made good pitches down, and Scudero got the count in his favor, got a fastball up, didn't miss it. Home run number 3 for Marco Scutaro. Ball middle in, and Scutaro makes it a 4-1 ball game.
So Guerrero touched for a couple of runs here in the 7th, and now Aaron Hill. Strike 1. Toronto looking very good in the first 2 weeks of the season. Seattle's continued to play very well, taking a 6-game winning streak into their game tonight against the Angels. And both teams have had good series here at the Metrodome.
Yeah, Ichiro Suzuki back with Seattle. He only had a couple hits, but he had 4 RBIs in yesterday's win over the Angels.
Hill jumps on a pitch up and hammers it to left for a base hit. Guerrero's given up 3 quick hits here in the 7th. The first Blue Bunny Kids Day is Sunday when the Twins host the Angels. You can buy a ticket in the home run porch or cheap seats and get 2 kids under 14 into the game for free. Blue Bunny Kids Day is one of the great values in all of baseball. Call 800-33-TWINS to get your tickets tonight. Those used to be called knothole tickets, right? You remember knothole day at the old Met?
Yeah, good to see Rich Stelmasic back. He was at the ball game last night, back as a bullpen coach.
Swing and a miss by Rios.
You know, Aaron Hill may not want to go to back to Toronto. He just may want to stay here. 10 hits in this 4-game series for Aaron Hill at first base.
Craig Breslow warming up with Guerrero struggling here in the 7th. Popped up right side. Casilla again tracking a pop up in short right field. The catch and out number 2. And it'll bring up Vernon Wells.
Yeah, it's a funny game sometimes, Dick, because, you know, Barajas maybe went on that one pitch, and Timmons at first base said he didn't go. Next pitch, base hit.
Yep.
You know, then he made a couple good pitches to Scutaro, left one up. Scutaro took advantage of it, hit the 2-run home run. Location, location, location.
Hill with a 3-hit game on Monday. Held hitless Tuesday, 4 last night, 3 tonight. And he's at first with 2 away. Wells uncoils. 1 strike.
I think it just magnifies the job that Perkins did here a couple nights ago. How good he pitched against a very hot hitting ball club. And Liriano, he pitched good. 6 very good innings, allowed only 1 earned run.
Blue Jays have absolutely shredded the Twins' right-handed pitching in this series.
Yeah.
And a short center. And that'll drop for a base hit. And Wells gets a single to center, and the inning continues. 4th hit against Guerrero. And that'll bring him up a left-handed batter, Adam Lind, and it'll bring Ron Gardenhire out of the dugout.
Now Vernon Wells gets his 2nd hit of the ball game. And Gardy kind of scratching his head. He didn't want to come out and replace a pitcher this inning, but he has to.
Breslow will try to get Lind and keep the Twins within striking distance. with 6 very good innings in front of him.
Yeah, just threw too many pitches in a short amount of time. 104 pitches in 6 innings. 6 innings of work, 7 hits allowed, 2 runs, only 1 earned with 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. So a good outing for Francisco Liriano. As he gets high fives and shakes all around.
So runners at first and third, 2 down. No walks. Liriano did have the 1 walk in the 9th inning, or in the 6th inning.
Craig Breslow coming in, making his 5th relief appearance. He worked here on Monday night in the 7th inning to get 1 guy out, and that was Adam Lind. He was able to strike him out on 5 pitches. So he's asked here again in the 7th inning to do the same.
1-1. To the screen, and it's 1-2. Breslow with 1 hit allowed, 1 walk allowed, 1 hit batter allowed. He's faced 8 batters on the season and retired 5 of them.
Breslow with that fastball, pretty good control of that fastball, that hard slider. Big slow curveball and a changeup.
2-2.
And he went to the slider and missed down and away.
Big batter here. The Twins already down 3 to the Jays and Roy Halladay. 2-2 to Lind and a throw to first. Twins, by the way, have not had a run producing hit since Creedy's game winner 2 nights ago. The 2 runs they got last night came on a ground ball and a pass ball. And the run they scored here tonight came on a ground ball. 2-2 to Adam Lind. And another throw to first. Ooh, off the mask, and Morales will chase it, and another run will score. That pitch landed about 5 feet in front of the plate, and Morales looked like he might have turned his mask, and it glanced off the side.
A wild pitch for Craig Breslow, trying to go to that slider, but throws it in front of home plate, ricochets off of Morales, and that allows Hill to score from third and Vernon Wells to move from first to second. A run charge to Matt Guerrero.
And that one will get by the catcher. And Lind walks, and Breslow's having a tough time, and probably brought in just to face the one man. Well, there's nobody warming up, so they're going to leave Breslow out there. He had him, got ahead of him 1-2, and then ended up losing him to a base on balls. And ball 4, another wild pitch charged to Breslow.
Ball in the dirt that scoots underneath the glove of Morales. That allows Vernon Wells to move from second to third.
Here's Rowland with runners in the corners. Still 2 out. Breslow's been all over the place here suddenly.
Yeah, Rick Anderson going to come out to try to settle him down as Morales took a walk out there. Say he's lost his release point right now.
And Rick Anderson out there to try to help him find it in a hurry.
I lost my curveball one time, Dick. I found it in Cleveland up in the upper deck. It was sitting up there for about 3 weeks. Finally, I was taking a stroll out in the upper deck. Nobody else was up there. I mean, we drew about 5,000 a game.
This was during a game,
This
right?
is the old stadium, yeah. And sure enough, there was my curveball.
Well, there he is again, R.A. Dickey, who might find himself pitching more innings out of the bullpen than he would have as a starter.
There's one pitch. Okay, there's two. Okay, he's loose.
Swing and a miss, and Morales comes out of the crouch.
Yeah, he's jumping a lot back there. Maybe just unsure how quick that ball breaks.
It was a 2-1 ball game going into this inning. And the Jays have pushed 3 runs across and are threatening to do more. 1-1. 2-1.
All he can do is suggest. Rick Anderson. It's up to the pitcher to find that release point. Fastball. Missing low.
Breslow had such a good year last year, but he coming into this appearance had walked one man, hit a man, and he's generally brought in to face 1, maybe 2 hitters at a time if they're left-handed batters. Those are the guys he needs to get out. 3-1. And now Breslow has walked his second man, and they're loaded up.
Well, what really hurt the Twins is Jose Mijares coming into camp out of shape, because I think they were thinking of him being the other left-hander out in the bullpen, and it kind of puts a lot of pressure on Breslow as being the only lefty now in the bullpen, and tonight was not a good night.
And R.A. Dickey will try to clean up a mess here in the 7th.
Four hits, 1 run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts through 46 pitches. In last night's ball game, Twins lost 12-2. 31 for strikes.
9th man to bat is Kevin Millar. Bases loaded, 2 out. 1 start, 2 relief appearances, and this is hardly the situation you want to bring a knuckleballer into. I was talking with Mike Redmond about that just this afternoon. Deep to left field. Millar tees off on the first pitch and hits a grand slam. And it's a 7-run inning.
I don't know what Redmond told you, but I think you would think that Dickey would come in, and you don't want to throw a wild pitch right there. You want to make sure that knuckleball, hopefully will break. Well, it broke right into the glove of Kevin Millar. Weighted back nicely with that uppercut swing. And all of a sudden, the Blue Jays have put a 7 on the board here in the 7th inning.
There's Barajas, who started it with a single. And what Redmond was saying is it just is very uncomfortable when you're the catcher and you've got a close ball game and guys on base. And in last night's game, Dickey's knuckleball was floating all over the place. He said nobody could hit it. He had a hard time catching it, as we showed you. And Dickey threw a first pitch knuckleball that looked, I think even on replay you could see it had some rotation on it, and that's not a good thing for a knuckleball. 1-2 to Barajas. Check swing and a foul. Blue Jays head home after the game. A homestand coming up with the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers. Twins won't see the Jays again until September, and I think they've seen enough in April to.
Well, hopefully they'll be not as hot in September.
Now full count. Hammered to left center field. That looked to be the fastball. And it's hard off the wall. Barajas has his second hit of the inning. This one a double. And Dickey asked to pitch here tonight when he might otherwise not be asked to pitch, but he's the third pitcher of this inning, and the original design, of course, was to have Matt Guerrero pitch the entire inning. And this whole 7th inning has just completely fallen apart for the Twins. Here's Bautista.
I messed up my book too. That's the ugly part of it.
You know, and imagine what this inning would have meant for Toronto if they'd have had Bautista lay down that sacrifice bunt. He ended up fouling out to Casilla, and then Scudero hit the home run, and well, why regurgitate the rest? White Sox beat the Rays 3-2. So Chicago now 5-4 and a 3-way tie with Detroit and Kansas City, and the Twins in danger of falling back to 4-7. 2.5 games or 2 games out of first. Dickey missing inside. 3-1.
I remember talking to Tim Wakefield about, they say, well, knuckleballer, you can pitch all you want and all that, but Tim said over the years, you know what, his arm does get tired. Now Dickey last night threw 46 pitches, and now he's asked to, come back out again. And he also worked here on Monday night where he threw 23 pitches.
And Dickey is going to be relieved by Luis Ayala. Well, this isn't on Dickey. He probably shouldn't have been pitching at all tonight, much less in the 7th inning. And so Ayala will try to get this elusive third out here in this miserably long 7th inning. The third out of this inning. Scudero took it from a 2-1 game to a 4-1 game with a home run earlier this inning. Ball one.
Well, Luis Ayala is already. This is his 7th relief appearance, and this is only the 11th game for the Twins. So look out, Mike Marshall. Mike Marshall, pitched in 104 ball games, I believe, one year for the Dodgers.
2-0. Twins have been out in the field a long time. Fastball and a strike.
I mentioned last night Ayala had worked in 81 total ball games last year, so he's used a lot. And the defense, you can see, saying, let's get this final out.
3-1. There have already been 3 walks this inning. 2 by Breslow, 1 by Dickey. Scudero fouls it to the backstop. 3-2. Roy Halladay says, keep piling them on, boys. Get the sense, though, don't you, that once he got that second run and that second lead, that he felt he had things pretty much under control.
What really made tonight's ball game is the way that he was able to get out of that 5th inning by striking out those 3 in a row.
Full count to Scudero. He takes a call, 3rd strike. And mercifully, the 7th comes to a close. But the Jays busted open.
Gotta love it when the fans get up.
Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Dye. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dye. Grab life. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work. Mountain Dew fans of the game.
There you go. You are hereby circled. Got his rally hat on. Well, Roy Halladay, you wonder why he's able to, over the last 7 years, average 7.45 per innings pitched in a ball game. Is because of that pitch count right there. Take a look at this. 10 in the first, 13, 16, 16, 18, and then a 7 in the 6th. Total of 80 pitches.
And he misses with his first 2 pitches to Jose Morales.
And a guy that likes to complete games. Led the major leagues in complete games last year with 9 in 33 starts.
Well, what Tim Wakefield told Terry Francona before his wonderful effort yesterday. He went into the manager's office and the Boston bullpen had been beaten up, and he said, I know what is at stake here. I know the situation. Don't come get me.
Right.
Now, it's one thing to go out and pitch a good ball game after that, but in essence what he was saying is, even if I don't have it, I'll go out and take one for the team. And if I give up 8-9 runs, just leave me out there, because I know, how exhausted everybody is.
But he had it.
And he had it. Here's a looper to left. And Bautista playing it somewhat tentatively. And Morales will get a base hit.
And Morales picking up his first major league hit other than the Chicago White Sox.
That's right.
His first Metrodome hit. That cutter inside, Morales just fights it off and hits that ball in front of Bautista for a base hit.
Brendan Harris started the 5th inning with a single. And then on an 0-2 pitch, here's a bouncer foul. On an 0-2 pitch, Halliday threw a breaking ball that hit Denard Span on the foot. The Twins had runners at first and second, nobody out, and a chance to break through against Halliday. And he struck out Casilla, Morneau, and Kubel. Not only did the runners not score, they never budged. Half swing and a strike, 0-2.
Halliday, 7 strikeouts in the ball game, no walks, giving up 7 hits, all of them singles.
Blue Jays have not been in the postseason since 1993. And they've got a tough row to hoe in the division that they're in. But I think a lot of people in baseball, a lot of hitters in the American League, hope that Toronto could get in so the world could finally see what a great pitcher this guy is.
Yeah.
He's hidden away, if you will, in Toronto, and a lot of people don't know how great a pitcher he is unless you've tried to hit against him. And in terms of being on the top shelf of American League starters, he's about as good as they get. Right-handed, left-handed, what have you.
Well, he led the league in last year in American League in innings pitched. 3rd time in his career he's been able to do that. 9 complete games, 4 times he's done that in the American League. Lead in complete games in a season. So he's been a workhorse.
Again, that record 133-66, 2 wins for every loss for a team that over that time has in essence been a 500 ball club. 2-2 to Harris. Toward the hole and through. And Halliday again in the 7th now will face same situation he had in the 5th. Runners at first and second, nobody
in
out.
the 5th with Alexi Casilla up. Casilla asked to bunt, unsuccessful, ends up striking out, and then he went up in the strike zone on Justin Morneau, got a strikeout, and then went to that cutter underneath the swing of Jason Kubel.
Now Span, who got to first base on the 0-2 pitch, being hit by the pitch, and then stood at first base with hands clasped, looking heavenward like, thank God he hit me. I got to first base. Pulled foul, a strike.
Well, that's that cutter you're talking about right there, Dick. You get it in on a left-hander. That's all left-handers can do, is just to beat that ball foul. You have to try to open up quickly like Brian Busher did, and he ended up popping it up.
1 strike to Span. A little low, 1-1.
Go with a cutter inside, then the 2-seamer that he missed low. You get hitters looking for the cutter, then that sinker away might create a ground ball.
by Span, and it's 2-1. Again, the Twins have not had a run-producing hit since Joe Creedy's game-ending double Tuesday night. Casilla has had a tough night against Halladay. Morneau hoping for a chance with men on base.
You got to guess fastball right here. And a little cutter inside. As a hitter, you know, I mean, you look at the scoreboard, 9-1. Okay, he's going to throw a fastball out over the plate. I'm going to hit it the other way. What does he do? He throws that little cutter to even the count.
Two and two to Denard Span. And a high fastball got him.
Well, strikeout number 8 for Roy Halladay, and a guy that loves to compete. Morales getting that base hit. And watch the reaction of Halladay right here. Upset at himself. And the score being 9-1. Harris out of the reach. And Halladay's here. Give me that ball back.
Casilla had that fateful at bat, and he fouls a cutter up against his leg. He has struck out twice and hit a little ground ball to Millar. And it was Casilla's first inning error that got the first run across for Toronto. So tough night for Casilla and the Twins.
Tell you what, if I'm a young pitcher for the Twins and they have 5 of them, other than Liriano, I'm on the bench watching this guy work. I'm watching this guy, how he goes about his business. You want to watch one of the best, you're watching him right here.
And again, those moments over the course of a game where the great ones elevate their game. And Halladay's done that once tonight and is being asked to do it again, perhaps here in the 7th. 2 strikes to Casilla.
Well, he's one of those guys, Dick, that it almost takes, you know, a snowblower or a big old machine to get him off that mound. He wants to go 9 if he can. That pitch count is near going into the 9th inning. He wants to be out there.
"73 strikes out of 100 pitches. Might be 2. And Halladay pitches out of another jam in the 7th. It's 9-1 Toronto. saying they have to approach it like it's still in this case 2-1 ball game. That seemed to be exactly what Halladay did in that 7th inning.
I think what Cito Gaston's doing right there, you know what's a 9-1 ball game. You know what? You got a long way. You got a long summer. Very good job. I'm going to give the bullpen a couple innings here. And 101 pitches in the 7th inning. He ended up throwing 21 pitches, the most he threw in one inning.
Aaron Hill taps it foul. Hill with a 10-hit series.
Well, Roy Halladay again came into the game 7-0, a lifetime 2.92 ERA against the Twins. And very good numbers for Roy Halladay with 8 strikeouts, no walks, only 1 run allowed in the 7 innings.
Chopper, foul. Mentioned Hill has a 10-hit series, and in game 2 he went 0 for 5. There's your story tonight. For 6 innings, a pitcher's duel between Halladay and Liriano, and then the Jays blew it open with a 7-run 7th. Oh, 2 from Ayala to Hill. Right center field. Span to the gap. Gathers it in, 1 away. And that'll bring up Rios. And Rios with an 0 for 4 night.
He picked up 3 hits here on Monday night, 1 hit on Tuesday, but that's the last hit he's been able to get.
He had an 0 for 5 last night.
Yeah. Somebody has to make the outs.
Hitless in his last 10 at bats. Busher. Nice pickup of that second hop and a low throw, and a better pickup by Morneau on the backhand side.
Well, Busher right there, he had plenty of time, made a nice pickup, and then kind of short-armed the ball rather than set himself to make sure he has a good throw. Right there, he comes in, very nice job of getting that short hop, and then kind of flipping it over rather than maybe taking your time and throwing a strike over to Morneau. And again, Justin Morneau digging it out of the dirt and saving maybe an infield and air.
And now Travis Snyder taking inside a ball. Snyder with an interesting nickname. Call him Lunchbox. One and one.
I was told that, was it when he signed, he got to about 260 pounds.
Hence the nickname Lunchbox.
Yeah. Right now at 5'11", 245 is what they have in the media guide, but see, he's got time to set and make a better throw.
2-2. Vernon Wells with a 2 for 4 night. Snyder with a couple of home runs against the Twins in the same game. Smoke to the cap, and the Twins cannot get this young man out. He gets a double here with 2 outs in the 8th. On a 2-2 pitch, he drives a liner to the gap in right center.
Well, we talk about location, the pitch up, and Snyder taking advantage of it, getting the double, his 4th of the year.
Here's Adam Lind. And Ayala shaves the outside corner. 1-1. Swing and a foul. 1-2. Lind with a single in the second. Walk and a run scored in the seventh. Two and two. Angels are playing in Seattle, scoreless in the third inning. After that game, a long flight here. Open up a 3-game series tomorrow night. The Angels, with all the injuries and the tragic death of Nick Adenhart, still are getting outstanding starting pitching.
That'll be Nick Blackburn tomorrow night against Dustin Mosley.
Aaron Oliver's going to start on Saturday. Shane Lukes on Sunday.
Oliver making his first start, I believe, since
5 years.
Yeah, 2004.
She stuck around and is rewarded with a souvenir. 2-2. Ayala trying to put the lid on this 8th inning. Full count.
Take a look at the young lady's catch as it flips right into her hand. Had it all the way.
Breaking ball. And Morales thought it was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 4. Morales came out of the crouch and was headed to the dugout. But instead, it's a 2-out walk. She's still grinning from ear to ear.
Deep breath.
Scott Rowland will hit. Drilled to center. Span back to make the catch on the edge of the track. Double, 2-out walk. They do no damage, but the Jays have done plenty of that already.
Blue Jays were able to get runs for guys not hitting the cutoff properly. Ron Coomer, Burt Blyleven will take you through that. Plus, the pitchers duel. Both starters pitch really, really well, especially Roy Halladay. We'll talk about Francisco Liriano not going to pick up his first win on the season. And we'll also talk about aggressiveness on the base paths for both teams. So stay tuned for Quest Twins Live following tonight's game featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. Dick and Bert.
Thank you very much, sir.
And you were hereby circled.
Justin Morneau facing a new pitcher for Toronto. That's the good news. The bad news is it's one of their 4 left-handers.
Yeah, Bill Murphy coming in. He pitched in last night's ball game, worked the 8th inning, a shutout inning. Just getting called up from AAA when Jesse Litch was put on a disabled list. Through 10 pitches, 7 for strikes.
Morneau, a pair of singles before the game, getting the Tip O'Neill Award. Now, it's not that Tip O'Neill, not the former Speaker of the House from Massachusetts, but a Tip O'Neill that played professionally, one of the first major league players from Canada. Played over 100 years ago. And Justin winning that award for the 2nd time. 1-2 to Morneau, leading off the Twins' 8th. Morneau, Kubel, and Kadire. Half swing, did he go? Yep. Morneau is gone on strikes. Jeff Kellogg ringing him up. So Morneau, before the game, winning that award. And there's a image of Tip O'Neill on the award that Justin won.
Yeah, Tip O'Neill had a career year in 1887 with the St. Louis Browns. So that Larry Walker won that award, has won that award 9 times. Justin second.
And Gardy not at all happy with the third base umpire Jeff Kellogg. 1-0 to Kubel, and a strike on the outside corner. Two and 1. Larry Walker was Justin's batting coach on the WBC. I think Larry Walker was the hitting coach for Team Canada.
Didn't help him, did it? The Dutch went further than the Canadians did. The Canucks.
Scudero at second base. He throws Kubel out, 2 down. The Twins and Angels are playing Saturday in a series presented by Cub Foods, and the first 10,000 fans will get a Joe Mauer bronze statue courtesy of Pepsi. Now, it's one of those little things. It's nothing that you've got to, have a flatbed truck to get it into your front yard or anything like that. Come see the Twins and Angels Saturday night. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Here's Kadire, and there's ball 1. Kadire singled and scored in the 2nd, and then he tapped out to first and struck out in the 6th. 2-0.
Well, Bill Murphy came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2007, then claimed off waivers over the winter by the Toronto Blue Jays. Played his college ball out of Cal State Fullerton in Southern California. A nice little hard breaking ball.
High fly to deep center field. Wells going back. That ball's gone. A home run. Michael Kadire with a home run to straightaway center, his first of the year.
I was talking about Murphy's breaking ball, so he throws a fastball up, and Michael did not miss it. See Barajas wanting that ball down. About letter high. Kadire takes it straight away center. Rios is playing center field now as Snyder is in left. Watches that ball go over his head. Oh, excuse me, in right. Snyder's in right. I believe I picked Michael Kadire in the
you did.
game we're playing. Yeah.
I had Delman Young. He drove in the first run of the game.
I might not be in last place anymore.
Skied to right center field.
Might be Robbie.
Rios has it. The Twins get a run in the 8th on a Kadire home run, but they're still down by 7. The last several years, Twins had lost 10 in a row to Toronto, breaking that streak on Tuesday. Now it looks like the Blue Jays are going to start another streak.
Well, let's hope, they win here tonight. Hopefully the Twins can beat them in Toronto in September.
Kevin Millar will face Jesse Crane as we begin the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, Jesse worked here on Tuesday night in an 11-inning win, worked 2 shutout innings, ended up getting a win in that ball game when the Twins did finally beat the Toronto Blue Jays 3-2.
First ball hitting to center. Millar to Span, 1 away.
Jesse here on Tuesday night threw 28 pitches, 21 strikes. Had a couple strikeouts in the 2 shutout innings. Boy, you like it when you can get that first out on 1 pitch, especially if you're a reliever and you have to maybe pitch sometimes back-to-back days.
Barajas has gotten some big hits for the Jays in this series. His 1-out double in the 5th led to the go-ahead run, a run that might end up being the deciding run, or at least it gave the Jays a lead that doesn't look like they're going to give back. Swing and a foul. Now the Twins bullpen's kind of gotten beaten up here tonight, which you wouldn't think would have happened with the starter going 6 pretty good innings, but yet it's happened. The Twins have, of course, 3 more games coming up with the Angels, and the first off day of the year coming up on Monday. No one around here can remember a year where the year has started with 14 straight ball games. It is a peculiar schedule in that regard, and the Twins will head out on the road, and then they've got next week, after Sunday's game with the Angels, they have 2 off days next week. Monday, then Monday night will be spent flying to Boston, and then another off day on Thursday. Crank to left. Young with a running catch on the warning track. Nice catch by Delman Young for out number 2.
A lot of offense for the Toronto Blue Jays in this series. You can see the batting average at .346, and especially with runners in scoring position. hitting .333. A lot of hits in 162 at-bats. 9 home runs.
And now Bautista takes the ball. Anyway, the original thought here was Crane, who got the first out on one pitch. And he got Barajas. Boy, if he could clean up this 9th inning here, get Bautista with just a couple of pitches, that might allow him to recover and to pitch a little more extensively in the Angel series.
Toronto Blue Jays leave here. They go back home and they play the Oakland A's, and then they play the Texas Rangers. The way the Rangers are hitting the ball right now, that'll be a heck of a series to watch. I don't think there'll be a 2-1 ball game.
Well, the Rangers hitting again, but you look at the record, they're still a 4-5, even though they've knocked the cover off the ball.
Pitching.
2-2. And a breaking ball. Diving into the dirt, 3-2. With the White Sox winning, there's a 3-way tie for the lead right now in the American League Central at 5-4, and the Twins are in danger of falling 2 games back. Half game ahead of the Indians. Good inning for Crane, and on 11 pitches, he pitches a 1-2-3 ninth. For 6 innings, but then the Jays have opened it up on the Jeep game reset.
Well, a couple more home runs hit by the Toronto Blue Jays. A big one off the bat of Kevin Millar, the grand slam in the 7-run top of the 7th inning.
First ball swinging, and Young lifts it down the right field line, back into the seats.
Jason Frazier now on the mound. He worked here on Monday night, threw 11 pitches in Monday night. Ended up throwing 7 for strikes. Frazier in his 6th season as a reliever with the Toronto Blue Jays.
1 strike to Young. Bouncer to third. Roland has it.
Well, let's take a look at our Quest player of the game. It's Roy Halladay. What an outstanding job he did. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, only allowed 1 run, no walks in a ball game, and now moves to a career high 8-0 against the Minnesota Twin organization. What a save, his only save in his career, that coming back in 1999.
1 down, and here's Morales. Singled his last time up against Halladay. Up high, ball 1. Harris will hit next. Twins hope to turn the lineup over and extend matters here. One and one. Foul. And it's 1-2.
You see that good fastball from Frazier, 90 to 95 mile an hour type fastball. He throws that slurve type slider. Worked on a circle changeup in spring training. See him almost split those fingers apart a little bit as he sets and looks for the sign.
First year he ended up being a closer for the Jays. Here's a drive to left field. Caught by the left fielder Bautista. 2 down. And they'll leave it to Brendan Harris. Remember when we saw Frazier as a closer, you think of guys like Aguilera, Nathan, guys with big frames. This guy's just 5'10", and I think the name we mentioned at the time was Jeff Montgomery.
Yeah.
Montgomery is about the same size as Frazier and was a longtime closer for the Royals.
Montgomery had an outstanding curveball and excellent control of the fastball.
So 2 down. Last hope for the Twins is Brendan Harris. He singled his last 2 times up.
Can you see Frazier trying to set that ball like a split finger? Set that up. That's a slider down and away.
Two and 0.
Yeah, be proud.
They'll be leading the division by a game here if the Twins don't stage a miraculous comeback. Down the middle. 2 and 1. And it'll be a 5-2 road record for the Jays if they finish the Twins off here. And now the Twins are down to their last strike. Jays took 3 out of 4 against the Tigers, 2 out of 3 against the Indians. Two and 2 to Harris.